Maybe that's why they're banning
Good
TikTok, because someone
afternoon,
had their
and
roll for sandwich
to
spoiled.
Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let feed decide my lunch. Let's go.
Why is he
Today's
so,
episode of Roll for Sandwich is
right
sponsored
there?
by Start Playing. It can be really hard to find people to play Dungeons & Dragons with, especially when you can't find anybody locally. And playing online with strangers seems really intimidating. Well, that's where Start Playing comes in. They have a huge directory of all sorts of TTRPG games that you can join right now. You can search by game system, days of the week that are available, and you can find games for all experience levels. Games are hosted by
actually
tons
really
of
cool.
experienced GMs and DMs that are all vetted through a rating system. So if you're looking to start playing, head on over to startplaying.games and give it a shot. All right.
That's actually genuinely a pretty decent idea.
Without any further ado, let's get rolling.
You know, okay, I don't think this ever gets talked very much. Okay, especially, okay, if you're at college or below, like high school, middle school, college, yeah, this ain't for you. Move on. You're not going to understand. But if you're beyond that, dude, there's like not many ways you can meet new people once you graduate. You know, you have like work, you have like friends of friends, and then like, you know, what else is there? You know, you go to the bar, I guess, or if you're really adventurous, you like, I don't know, do like Facebook group, and like go to events and like, you know what I mean? Like it just, I don't know. Like you kind of gotta, you need like a gateway. You know what I mean? There needs to be a gateway somewhere. Like it's, I don't know. I don't think it ever gets talked about as much though. I make friends at the grocery store. How? I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Okay. One, I live in New England. Two, especially in the winter, I have the meanest New England face you've ever seen. It's my, get the f out of my way, I'm busy. You know, if you know anything about living in certain areas, you always look like you have a destination, right? It still rings true today. Like, I never shook it, you know what I mean?
I was sick in bed all week with the flu and you kept me feeling not as miserable.
Aww.
Thank you for all that you do.
I appreciate it. You know, walk with a purpose, look like you have a destination you're headed to, and you send it, right? I have literally never had a single person in the grocery store ever try to talk to me other than the guy at the grocery, like the cashier or the person bagging your groceries, which, by the way, also, this is totally off track. Listen, I like turtles. I don't hate the turtles, but I think is it just me, or the stupidest thing we ever did was get rid of plastic bags and like pretend we're all going to use like reusable bags? Dude, nobody does. You always forget them at home, and then you buy new ones or use paper and they break on the way into the car. It's like, okay, this is terrible. Like, and like, I think there's actually I think there's studies now that have come out that like it's actually worse because the amount of materials it takes to make the reusable bags is way more than the plastic bags, and people just keep buying the reusable bags. We're so dumb. But yeah, I've never had a single person ever come up to me at a grocery store and be like, "Hey, how you doing?" Or like, "Oh, that looks good," or you know, never, not a single person. No one has ever tried to talk to me in public like that ever.
6, sourdough. I do love me some sourdough. Got a pretty rustic variety today, ready and waiting for
I keep my reusable bag in the car. Yeah, but then when you bring it from the car into the house, you got to go back out to the car. And unless you have a garage, right? Like I live in an apartment with like a parking lot, right? Like I'd have to walk through the parking lot to go to my car, right? I'm not walking back outside in 30-degree New England weather. That ain't happening. And then I go to the grocery store the next week and I forget about it and it's gone.
Fillings. Next up, let's roll for our main. 4, maple spam. Well, I've had spam on the show before, but not this maple flavored. Uh-oh. Well, hopefully that's not an omen.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I've never had this maple spam on the show before, but we're going to give them it a
in your
try
garage.
today.
I don't have a
I'm
garage.
not the biggest fan of maple flavored things. They're usually a bit too overly sweet for my taste, but I do have to say I gave this maple spam
This
a
actually
taste
looks
off
gas.
camera, and I think it's nice. Spam is naturally pretty salty, and that little bit of sweetness
I'm
is
not
a nice
gonna lie, this
contrast,
looks
too much.
gas.
We're making sure to get a nice sear on our spam pieces here.
Holy
I think they're shaping
hell.
up to be a decent main for this sandwich.
I gotta look this up.
Let's get them transferred over to our bread here. I decided halfway through that they would fit better in this orientation, so that's what I did. Overall, not a bad start.
Not
Next
bad.
up, let's roll for cheese. 4, pimento cheese. Pimento cheese is a cheese spread made from mayonnaise, cheddar cheese, and pimento peppers.
I'm not a big pimento
cheese
guy.
is popular
It's
in the
not bad,
southern
though.
United States, with some even going as far to call it the pate of the South. Let's roll for some roughage.
Not crazy about it, but it's not bad.
4 green onion and 11 none. All right, keeping it simple today with the veg. I think green onion is a pretty perfect roll. Should go great with the pimento cheese. Not really mad about that.
It's a lot of green onion, but
already got a lot going on with just a couple ingredients. Time for the wild magic. 14 chili crisp.
Ooh.
Chili crisp is quickly becoming one of my new favorite condiments. It consists of chili oil with garlic, crispy garlic pieces, peanuts, and other spices. So far, this sandwich is kind of a perfect scenario for chili crisp. We'll add a little spice to the meat and some crunch, and I think the pimento cheese will help take the edge off the heat. And last but not least, it's the D20 sauce roll. Here we go. 10 bone-sucking mustard. This is a thick, brown, sugary mustard sauce, which honestly is probably a pretty great roll to roll with maple-flavored meat. There's a lot of layers to this sandwich, but I can see them working all together. Let's hope that's the case.
Dude, I think it's going to be like a 9.5.
Get our toothpicks in to hold it together, and let's get it snapped in half. And let's take a look at our cross-section. That don't look too bad. Well, an interesting one today for sure. Excited to get into it and see if it's everything I hope it'll be. Let's taste it. Y'all, this is pretty good. I think each roll really complements the maple spam.
Yeah.
From the slight sweetness in the pimento.
This might be a 9.7, 9.8.
To the spice of the chili crisp. But then the pimento cheese tempering the spice to keep it from getting too bad. All on a hearty bread that didn't get soggy. This one's a 9.6. And I'm going to call it the Spimento. Thanks for joining me again on another Wednesday. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And I will see you all on Friday.
I would 100% make that. That actually looked phenomenal. I might make this one the last one, and then we'll have like one more session after, and we'll be caught up.
TikTok and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where. Good afternoon, D&D TikTok and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go! Today I'm going to be using these handmade dice with real parsley inside that were made and sent in by a viewer. Thank you. Let's get things started with our roll for bread. 2, gluten-free. I'll be using Shadowheart's favorite bread today. Gluten-free bread always seems to be so small. Today I'm going to be toasting it up because
I don't understand the joke.
Because I think that will give us a better textural experience. And because, as always, toasting is a cantrip.
A brand? Char. Oh my god, Char. Okay, that's pretty good.
And because, as always, toasting is a cantrip. Next up, let's roll for Maine. 8 leftovers. The leftovers I have for today are taco seasoned ground beef.
Ooh.
We've heated up some of our leftover ground beef, and we're going to do
pretty
our
good,
best
I think.
to pile it onto our gluten-free bread.
Good start.
This one's going to be a messy one, folks.
Good
There's
start.
pretty much no avoiding it. Let's roll for some cheese. 2 Munster. All right, raise your hand if you called it monster cheese when you were a kid.
I did not.
I see you all. Time to roll that roughage. 1 kumquat and 11 none. This unfortunately named fruit is actually the world's smallest citrus fruit. Native to southern China, its flesh is incredibly sour, while the rind is quite sweet. Typically, you consume the entire fruit other than a few seeds. It will be interesting to see how these work on our sandwich. Let's see what else we get. All right, we're pretty wild already, but let's add some wild magic. 12.
19 to 20
Oh, no.
on a D100 Wild Magic Surge, you cast Grease centered on yourself. Can grease be one of them?
Make it greasy.
And don't try to put Mediterranean ingredients
Didn't this
on
already
it and say
happen?
You've made it greasy. Don't get
That's
clever.
good.
We spelled it out the right way.
Now hold
Wait,
on.
I thought
now,
he wasn't redoing them more
wait,
than
now
once.
as long as we're here though, make it
Greasy.
Grease-y.
Put that higher. Put that higher.
put that higher. That would be
Oh,
delicious.
they're
Yeah, bring in
changing
the
it now.
flavors.
This
of
is the
yeah,
other
that's
version.
Like a 12.
You want
12
that.
is make
So
it
the other one was
greasy.
greasy,
All right,
now it's
so thanks to the McElroy
greasy.
brothers, we've already made it greasy.
Yeah, okay.
But now we get to make it greasy. That
Okay.
sounds quite a bit more enjoyable, and I have exactly what I need to do that. I'm going to add some Kalamata olives and some feta cheese. Kalamata olives are about as greasy
like
as you
it.
can get. Named after the city of Kalamata in southern Greece. It'll be interesting to see how they pair here, but if the kumquat comes through tasting anything like lemon juice, I think we're okay.
I love feta cheese.
On top of that,
feta
we're going to
cheese is
sprinkle
gas.
some of this crumbled feta, which is a sheep's cheese from Greece. Usually we have the block kind in the house, but we've only got this pre-crumbled stuff right now, which will be fine, except a little messy, but it's already messy with the ground beef. All right, last but not least, we've got the D20 sauce roll. Here we go. 19, Tubby's Italian dressing. Tubby's famous submarine dressing tastes almost like a mix between Italian and Greek dressing, which is fitting
I'm not a
here.
big dressing guy.
Tubby's is a small sandwich chain in the Metro Detroit area that's been around since the 60s. And I really like their dressing. This is a good roll. Let's get our sandwich closed up here. And then I've got one more way we can make it greasy.
Okay, dude.
There we go. Let's go ahead and get it cut in half.
He had this waiting for so long.
And let's take a look at that cross section. All right, doesn't look too bad. Well, quite a few curveballs today, but honestly, I'm pretty hopeful about the results. The kumquat, the olives, the feta, even the Munster all have an element of tartness. Let's see how they all taste together.
I think it's gonna be pretty good. Solid 8 at least.
This is surprisingly good. Like, I didn't really anticipate it being bad, but I actually dig this quite a bit.
Ooh,
Those
this might
tart
be like
flavors
an
really
8-9.
complement each other, and the ground beef's a great base for that. I think making it greasy
Maybe an
made it a
8-8?
winner. I'm gonna give this one a 9.5, and I'm gonna call it the Hamburger
Whoa.
Hellas. I have a special announcement for you all. Starting tonight, I'm going to be a regular cast member on D&Dork's new D&D campaign. It's going to be streaming live tonight. Check the link. You know what to do. Love y'all. Have a great weekend.
Oh, Pog. Yeah, that was pretty good. That was a good one. I'm finished on, I think. Also, hold on, my mouth texted me.